Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Hey, family, to my ALU family. Welcome in. I see you guys are just starting to come in. My Facebook family, Instagram family, all of you guys, Overcomers, ALU. Welcome in, everybody. I am so happy to be here. I'm super excited because this is my first time streaming from the ALU Patreon, and I couldn't be more grateful and more excited. It's a great opportunity, and I am thrilled. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Y'all let me know if y'all can see me. Hello. Awesome. Super excited. Before we get started, before we tune into all the stuff that I want to talk about today, how are you guys doing? Talk to me. Let me know how you guys are doing. How's your day been? For me specifically, I know for a fact, earlier today, I was a little stressed earlier today. I was taking it real slow, but after live, we had an amazing time on live today with the ALU family on TikTok. And after that, I felt so much better. I was able to focus in and get some stuff done that I've been putting off. And I just had a new energy about me today. So I'm grateful. Hey, Chris. Oh, okay. Your day was refreshing. Oh, I love that. I love the refreshing. Yes. I love it. Welcome in, everybody. Super excited, super thrilled. I was so nervous about getting on live today because I'm using a new platform, and I was super nervous. But being here, I'm like, okay, we're doing the same thing that we always do. Y'all excuse me if I mess with the technology or if I, do something weird. We're still learning, but we're here, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, yeah, I like to play. This is called Yahweh, and it's an Afro-Caribbean song. We are patient with you. Thank you. Thank you, because I need all the patience I can get. I'm going to let a few more people come in. I see you guys on Facebook coming in as well. I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes to come in before we start. But again, super grateful. Rock with me, vibe with me tonight. It's a live series featuring you, which means that I need you guys to interact with me. I need you guys to talk to me. This is a conversation. I'm learning just as much as you are. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome to Resilience Talks, a live series featuring you. Okay. Again, I'm just waiting for a few guys to come in. Hello, Big Chef and Mrs. Chef. Oh, hey, y'all. Hey, Sherry. Hey, beautiful. Hey, how's everybody doing? How is everyone doing today? Did y'all have a good day? I was just saying my day started off a little slow, but we're here. We're better. My day ended better than it started, so I'm grateful for that. Hey, Miss Green. Hey, beautiful. How's it going? I love that you guys have joined me. Again, for those coming in, welcome in. This is Resilience Talks, a live series featuring you, which means this is an interactive conversation. You talk to me, I talk to you. That's how it works. It's a combo. So we're gonna keep talking. We're gonna do our thing tonight. And I'm super excited. Again, thank you to the ALU family for hosting me, for collabing with me. Thank you to my family, my friends on both Facebook, Instagram, who are tuning in tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm so grateful, and I see y'all. Trust and believe. I see y'all comments. I see you come in here, and I'm gonna address them. Okay, so while we're getting started, while we're talking, I'm gonna address y'all comments. All right, I see y'all. Y'all are not being ignored. I see y'all. All right. I'm gonna just stop this. All right, family. How's y'all day? Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Marvin, I see you. Hello, brother. I see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right, so I'm just going to jump right in because you know what? We're only on here for an hour, and I want to make sure that we get time to really talk to each other, right? Hello, Yakira. Hey. Oh, hey, Mrs. Big Chef. Okay. Hello. Welcome in. I'm just going to get right started. We only have an hour. And so I'm just going to jump right in. Okay. So if you have been here for, the talks that I've been having for the past 7 weeks now, this is the 7th episode, y'all. Believe it or not, it's a 7th episode. And so if you have been here, welcome back. Y'all know what we've been talking about for these past 3 weeks. We've been talking about enduring well. For those of you who are just now coming in, welcome in for your first time. Welcome to Resilience Talks. So the past 3 weeks, we've been talking about enduring well, right? In the middle of the storm. How do we endure in the middle of the storm? And we started to kind of digest, what does it mean to endure? And it means to suffer patiently, right? If you've been here, we've been talking about that oxymoronic statement of suffering patiently. Because what does that even mean? And why do I need to do it? Because naturally, none of us want to suffer, right? None of us want to suffer on this earth. However, when we go through suffering, it produces something great in us, right? It usually brings out something in us that was maybe locked in, something that we didn't even know we had. Our suffering usually stretches us beyond the limits that we've placed on ourselves. And it's also an opportunity for God to show who he is to us and through us, right? All right. So that's what we've been discussing for the past several weeks. Now, last week, we talked about how sometimes the purpose of our suffering isn't necessarily because God hates us. It's because God recommended us, right? We talk about the story of Job and how Job, he was like this man in the Bible who was rich. He had money, right? He had bread. He had the fancy houses, the fancy cars, back in those times, whatever that looked like back in those times. He had it all. And then, the devil was like, well, he seems to be blameless and upright, but let me test him. Let me see if he really, really loves God the way he says he does, if he's really as blameless as he says he does. Because guess what? The devil's going to tempt you too, right? The devil's going to tempt you too. So he goes to God. He asks God, "Oh, well, let me get at your servant Job. Let me talk to him. Let me get at him." And so he strips Job of all his possessions. He makes him really sick and all of that. And so Job goes through this whole process of being in pain and suffering for such a long time. And so when we talk about suffering patiently, we think about the story of Job. And so what I told everyone last week was, God is not necessarily punishing you. He's just recommending you because he knows who you are. He knows what you're capable of. And he's recommending you so that he can show you his own heart, so that he can reveal to you who you actually are, because he already knows. We don't know. We struggle with knowing who we are, right? And so God will allow us to go through some stuff to start revealing some things to us. You ever notice that when you go through a situation, you be like, oh, well, I learned so much from this situation, or I learned so much from that situation. And sometimes we be like, well, I know now that I'm never going to put myself in that position again because I went through that, and these were the consequences, right? So sometimes when we're going through stuff, it's not necessarily punishment, but it's to get the very best out of us, right? It's to give us wisdom and knowledge, right? All right, so cool. So this week, absolutely, Mrs. Big Chef, yes, a test. Absolutely, absolutely. So this week, I really, really wanted to hone in, and I think this has been a theme that we've been discussing with the ALU family, and the theme that we've just been discussing over the past several weeks, right? We talk about Job and how he was suffering patiently, right? He had these friends that came over. And in the beginning, it seemed great because he had community, right? He had people that he could go to and that he could talk to. And in the beginning, they all just came and sat down, and they didn't say anything to him because they realized how much suffering he was going through. And they just sat there and they prayed and they meditated, and they sat there and supported him in silence, right? Sometimes that's all we need. We don't really need people to come and talk to us or try to solve our problems. Sometimes we just need you to just be there for me, just be silent, but be there for me, right? And so these friends, they came and they sat down for 3 days with Job. I think it was 3 days, right? They sat down with him. They didn't say anything. They just prayed, and they were just there quietly. But after those few days had passed, they started talking to Job. And when they started talking, that's when everything went down the drain, because they started talking and didn't know what they were talking about, right? They tried to convince Job that he was suffering because he had sinned, because he had did something wrong, and this is why he was suffering, right? That's what they were trying to convince Job. And Job, Job, he was like, oh nah, he was like, that's not why I'm suffering, because I didn't do anything wrong. And he stood firm in that. Now, can you imagine if Job had listened to his friends who were trying to tell him, like, the reason you're suffering is because you sinned and you did something wrong, or your family did something wrong. If he had listened to his friends, he would have missed the entire move of God. He would have missed it completely, because then his attention would have been focused on, oh God, what did I do wrong? Oh God, why me? Oh God, help me because I did this thing. Oh God, forgive me. When in reality, Job didn't do anything wrong. Job was just recommended by God. He just went through a suffering, right? And a lot of times, if we allow people to get in our ears and talk to us, and we are not strong in who we are, we're not confident in who we are and who God called us to be, and if we're not confident in the promises of God, we will miss him completely, because we let people talk us into something or talk us out of something, right? And a lot of times we know in our heart of hearts that what people are saying to us is not the truth. We know a lot of times that what people are saying to us is not the truth, and yet we still listen, because we are not confident, and we feel like we act as if we don't know who we are, especially who we are in God. That's how we act sometimes. And so a lot of times we get talked out of blessings, or we get talked into something that we know for sure is wrong, right? So the people around us, the things around us is essential, right? And I always say this: what's around you eventually becomes inside of you. And so you have to be very careful who you align yourself with, right? Who you align yourself with, who you connect yourself with, who you're having conversation with, because it may seem innocent and it may seem like it's not a big deal, but baby, that thing could take you off your path. It could distract you from what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be focused on. It can be a distraction. So we have to be very, very careful with who we align ourselves with. All right, so let's get into our topic for today. We are going to be talking about our inner circle. That's what we're talking about. Who is on your team? And now I'm going to put up a presentation. Let me cook, y'all. Let me cook. I'm going to put up a presentation for you guys, because I want you guys to definitely see, I want you guys to definitely be able to see what I'm talking about. We're talking about friendship, okay? So let me add this. Can y'all see this? Let me know if y'all can see it, because I don't know. I can't tell if y'all can see it. An obstacle trying to detour. Absolutely. An obstacle trying to detour us. And that's a lot of times, if we're not careful with who we're talking to and who we're connecting with, it will be a detour. And you'll be sitting there wondering, like, dang, well, how did I get this far away from the will of God? Or how did I get this far away from what I originally wanted to do? Well, because you let people talk you into something else. That's what happened. You let people deter you. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I see y'all coming in. Welcome in. This is Resilience Talks, a live series featuring you. We are talking about friendship. We're talking about our inner circle. Who's in our space? Absolutely, you can share this. I think you can share it. G, can you? Okay, awesome. All right, I just wanted to make sure it was able to be shared. Awesome. I'm new to all this technology, y'all. So please, please take it easy on me. Be easy with me. Hey, Tay. Hey, Kim. How you doing? All right, y'all. So let's get into it. What is friendship to y'all? Let me know in the comments. What is friendship? Hey, G. Hey, girl. What is friendship to y'all? Put it in the comments, because I really want to know. I was just asking for permission to other apps. Yes. Yep. By all means, please share. Please. Love that. Thank you. What is friendship to you guys? What does that mean to you? And obviously, I'm going to read the comments, but I also have my definition of what friendship is and what God considers friendship, right? And I'll go through the slides and we'll talk about it. Ooh, Big Chef, kindness. Yeah. Loyalty. That's a good one. That is a good one. Okay. Okay, you're telling her. Okay, cool. Yes, kindness is definitely one of them. In fact, Big Chef, Job mentions that, I think it's Job 6:14. He mentions that if you don't give kindness to your friends, especially when they're going through it, that means you don't fear the Lord. That means you don't fear the Lord. Absolutely. Alicia, boundary, respect. Mrs. Big Chef, security. Absolutely. Absolutely. Though y'all are right on point. Period. Period. Right on point. This is what friendship is, right? So we know what friendship is. Now, my question to y'all is, if we know what friendship is, how come we always find ourselves in a bad friendship, or we find ourselves in friendships that don't actually serve us? If we know what friendship is, right? Friendship, someone that is there to build you, not kill you. Absolutely. Absolutely. So why is it that we end up in bad friendships? Why is it? We all know what friendship means, right? So why is it that we end up in friendships that don't serve us? And they didn't serve us from the beginning. And that's the thing. Sometimes we become friends with people that we know for a fact ain't really our friend. We know for a fact that they're there to use us, right? We know it, right? Not standing on our boundaries. Absolutely, Shari. Not standing on our boundaries. Misleading. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And that's why these are some of the reasons that we get into these bad friendships. But let's talk about how God views our ignoring pink flags that turn red. Period. Right. Because they do be pink. And we be like, and then they become full on red flags, right? Full on red flags. And we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. All right. So let's get into it. Friendship to God, right? For what is friendship to God? Friendship is covenant to God, right? A covenant is a solemn, binding agreement between two or more parties, and that often includes promises and obligations, right? That's what friendship is to God. It's covenant. And so when we're aligning ourselves with people, when we're creating these new friendships, realize this. Realize this. You are making a bond, you're creating a covenant with someone that gives you promises and obligations, and y'all have morals, and y'all have shared standards, and y'all have, you have shared values. And we have to be conscious, right? That you're not making a covenant with the devil, right? You're not making a covenant with people who don't really support you, with people who not really for you. We have to be very, very careful. And so the bulk of this conversation is going to be here. Who are you in covenant with? Talk to me, y'all. Who are y'all in covenant with? Who y'all been talking to? Because it matters. Eventually, what's around you will become in you. I know for a fact when I was younger, right? I was not a drinker. I was not a smoker. I was a little goody two shoes. I ain't gonna lie, right? I was good. I was a good kid. All right, I was good. And then right around high school, I made friends with a couple of people, and they were doing some things, and I was like, oh, I ain't never do this before. And at first I resisted because I'm like, I hear the stories about what you're doing or whatever. And then I was like, let me just try it. It won't hurt, right? It can't really hurt. And I engaged in drinking, I engaged in smoking, right? These are some of the things that I did. And this is just one example. And not say that there's anything wrong with it. But for me, it wasn't something that I was necessarily comfortable with until I became comfortable with it. Because what was around me, people were doing it. And it seemed like it was okay. It seemed like it was the popular thing to do. It seemed like the right thing to be doing at the time. But in actuality, it ain't helped me at all. Because if you guys know my story, I was struggling with heart disease and my heart had failed. And me smoking did not help me at all. If anything, it made me worse than what I was supposed to be, right? And so what was around me eventually got in me, right? Because I was constantly exposed. And when you expose yourself to certain things, eventually you open a door for opportunity to step in. If you don't want to be a certain way, then don't surround yourself with people who are that certain way, right? You want to surround yourself with people who are going to love on you. And people say this all the time. You should align or aspire to be in a room where you are not the smartest person. You should aspire to be in a room where you are not the one and only, the person with all the wisdom in the world, the best person. You shouldn't align yourself with people if you're the only one in the room who's the best or the most wise, right? You surround yourself with people who are wiser than you, so that when you're looking to elevate, you have examples all around you, right? Because what's around you eventually gets in you. Yeah. You have to experience. That's true, Bishop, Mr. Bishop. You got to experience to learn. Absolutely. You really do. And one thing about it, you still have to be careful when you're experiencing these things, right? I needed to be careful when I was experiencing, but I learned from it, right? And that's what happens a lot of times. We learn from certain friendships, even though we know it's bad for us. We're still in a learning process. Absolutely. That's a room you can learn in. Absolutely. When you surround yourself with people who know more than you, who have more life experience than you, and when you surround yourself with people that you feel like you can emulate, that you respect, that's the best kind of room to be in. And so I try, and I'm not perfect, but I try to align myself with people who I know have more than me or have things that maybe I want in my life. I don't want your stuff, right? Let's be clear. I don't want exactly what you have, because that's envious and that's jealousy. But I want the idea of those things. I want a form of those things, right? And so I try to align myself with people who have the things that I want, because guess what? You can help me get there, right? You can help me. And so that's what I try to do. But let's talk about it, y'all. What are red flags for friendship? Let's talk about it. What are some red flags? And y'all can put it in the comments. One of my red flags for friendships, and this is the bulk of our conversation, so feel free to type in as much as you want, type in as many times as you want. A red flag for me, one of them is people who come in fast and people who come in strong. Here's the thing. I want to be friends with people, and I love being friends with people, and I love having relationships with people. But something makes me feel off when you come in too fast and you come in too strong, because now I'm like, what's your motive, right? What's your motive? Because why are you coming in so strong, And it's happened to me a couple of times, and I feel like it's because I'm very friendly. I'm a friendly person. So, I'm never going to be like, I'm not talking to you. I'm going to talk to you if you talk to me, but I'm super friendly. But one of the things I feel like is a red flag, when you come in too strong and too fast. Yes. All right. So I see y'all. Deceit. Disloyalty. Talk about it. No reciprocity. Right. When I feel as if I'm giving all and become overwhelmed. Yes. They hear literally the same mind. Absolutely. So some of these red flags, when you're in friendships or just relationships in general, right? Where people are being deceitful, where people are not being loyal to you. And a lot of times we know when people are not being loyal to you because they won't show up to your stuff. They'll congratulate you on the back end. And then, mind you, when they're congratulating you on the back end, they're over there talking to Tom, Dick, and Harry about how you did this and how it wasn't even that great. I know for a fact that there are some people who will go on my Facebook, go on my Instagram to see me go live just to then talk about me behind my back. Just so they have something to talk about with their little cliques that they formed. I know it. Right? People who are not loyal to you. Usually we know who those people are. It might take us some time to realize it, but we usually know who they are, because is it disloyal or unloyal? I don't know which one it is, but people who are not loyal to you will eventually reveal their hand. They will eventually reveal their hand. It'll be something in them that will not allow them to publicly support you or to hide behind, the fake, I'm your friend. Oh, I love you. I'll do anything for you. At some point in time, they will reveal themselves. Absolutely. People who don't reciprocate. Because, baby, why are we here? Why are we friends? Because what am I getting out of this? What am I getting out of this? A bunch of nothing, right? When I start feeling overwhelmed because I'm giving and I'm giving and I'm giving, yeah, it's a problem. Something is wrong. That means that we are unequally yoked. And I know we talk about that with marriage, But in friendships too, we're unevenly yoked. If I'm constantly giving, if I'm constantly there for you, and I can't find you nowhere when I'm going through it, I can't find you nowhere when it's time to celebrate. Why are we friends? What is the point, right? Absolutely. We talk about people, we talk about boundaries, excuse me. We talk about boundaries. I hate a person who does not respect boundaries. I can't stand a person who does not respect boundaries. And the reason is because if they don't respect your boundaries, baby, best believe they ain't finna respect nobody's boundaries. They start feeling entitled, right? They start feeling entitled. They start feeling like they own you, that they can do whatever they want to you. That grinds my gears too, Shari. Grinds my gears. That right there. People who don't respect your boundaries. Because if you don't respect boundaries, you don't respect me. If you can't respect the boundaries that I put in place, then you don't respect me as a person. Because every boundary that I have is in place for a reason, right? Because I've experienced some stuff in the past, right, Mrs. Big Chef? I had to experience it to learn it. There's some stuff that I experienced in the past that I no longer want to experience, right? And sometimes you got to tell yourself, I no longer want to experience this side of friendship anymore. I no longer want to experience this type of relationship anymore, right? And you have every right to set that boundary. And people who don't respect it do not respect you. Point blank, period. That's it. They don't respect you. Because if you can't understand that I put this in place to protect myself and to make sure that I'm good mentally and emotionally and maybe even physically, then you don't respect me. You can't be my friend. I literally just having this conversation with my friend I walk with. Absolutely. Okay. And I hope that's confirmation for you. You know, we gotta understand that not everybody is our friend. Not everybody is going to be here for us. And when you notice these red flags or pink flags, as Shari said, when you start noticing these pink flags, don't be afraid to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just cut this off at the root, right? I'm gonna just cut this off at the root, because you don't want to get into it and then now you're heartbroken because now you had a friendship breakup and you don't let it get so far into it. Now you stuck in a cycle with this person. Now you got bonds with this person, right? You don't got ties with this person because you let it get too far. Don't be afraid to cut it off. Don't be afraid to cut it off. Not everybody your little friend. Right, JC. Not everybody your little friend. And it's okay. And it's okay. I used to be like so hung up on not being friends with people, or when a friendship would fail, or when a friendship would just go bad. I used to be so sad, so heartbroken. And I'm just one of those people, if I really, really love you, I'm going to keep trying to make it work and keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. But one of the things I am learning is that if they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to be your friend, they would. We all know what friendship means. We all know what friendship looks like. We all know if they wanted to, they would. So there's no reason for us to be chasing down nobody, begging nobody to be our friends, begging anybody to be in our lives. It's no reason for that. You don't got to do all of that. You ain't even got to do all of that. And I know that it hurts, and especially friendship breakups. I don't know about y'all, but those friendship breakups, they hit close to the chest, okay? Because these are usually the people that you share things with, that you spent a lot of time with. A lot of times more than your partner, you spent time with them, right? You spent time with them, you share secrets with them, right? These people know your secrets. And so it hurts when it breaks up or when it fails. But at the same time, what is around you will eventually become inside of you, right? And so you got to be protective of your space. You have to be protective of your mindset, because some of us are so easily influenced. So easily influenced. Some of us are so easily influenced. Get a grip, y'all. Get a grip. You know when someone is not for you. You know it. And if you don't, pray for discernment. Pray for discernment. But a lot of times we know, and we still continue on because we love this person, or because we have bonds with this person, or because, you know, we have history with this person, we tend to keep them around. Even when we distance ourselves, we still have that hope in the back of our mind, like, oh well, they're still my friend, you know, like they're my friend. But if I gotta say, oh, they're my friend, but you ain't my friend. If I gotta say they're my friend, but you ain't my friend, because I shouldn't have to say that. If I'm in covenant with you, if we made an agreement, I shouldn't have to say they're my friend, but right, because but means there's a negation. That means that after that, I'm finna contradict everything that I'm saying. If I gotta say but, that's a problem. You're not my friend. You should not be in my surrounding. And a lot of us are sensitive. A lot of us, we have to protect our spirit. I know that I am a sensitive person when it comes to people being in my space, because I pick up on energy. I pick up on people's motives. And for me, and I'm what do they call those people who feel other people's emotions? Like what do they call those people again? I forget the term, but those people who feel other people. I feel other people deeply. And so when I'm in a space, I really have to assess, like, okay, it's a lot going on, because I feel people's energies and I feel them. And so I have to be protective of what's around me, because I know that those things that you're feeling, yes, empath, thank you, Kim. Those things that you are feeling, I might start feeling them. And I don't want, thank you, Marvin, and I don't want to feel what you feeling, because those ain't really my feelings, okay? I don't want what you got inside of you. I don't want that. So I have to be careful sometimes who I'm connecting myself with and who I'm, you know, just building that bond with, because I don't ever want to become friends with somebody who's going to throw me down, beat me down, you know, drag me through the mud and make my life a living hell. I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for y'all too. I see y'all comments. Yep. You my friend or not? Period, Shari. Are you my friend or not? Like, let's be upfront about it. Because, baby, one thing about it, I'm not finna sugarcoat it with you. You either my friend or you're not. Point blank, period. Gets overwhelming quickly. Right. People who don't respect boundaries. Be careful. Beware of them. Beware of them. People who don't respect your friendship with other people. That's a red flag. Because what they do to you. I'm not one of those friends who's going to be like, oh yeah, you hate her, so I hate her. I'm sorry, that's just not me. I need to see for myself why I don't like this person. I mean, granted, I may not have no conversation, I may not interact with them, but I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I hate them. I absolutely hate them. I'm not going to say that. Now, I will say, oh, I'm going to watch you. Oh, hey, B. Hey, girl, welcome in. I will say, I'm going to watch you, because obviously, if I'm in connection with somebody, if I'm aligned with somebody and they're like, oh, well, this person did this, or this person did this. Okay, well, now I got my watchful eye out, right? Not to say that I will see the same thing as that other person, as my friend, but I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch and see, because if you're doing something to them, baby, you got the potential to do it to me too. So I need to be sure. Okay? I got to be sure. Absolutely. I see y'all. Facts. I gotta be sure. All right, so we talked about some of these red flags, right, for friendship. I want to ask you guys, what are the green flags, right? We talked about how loyalty is one of them, how, you know, being patient with someone, knowing what to say when people are going through stuff, right? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about enduring through the storm. And when you're enduring through the storm, you need people around you who are going to hold you up and be able to minister to your soul, right? Not just your human form, but your soul too, to be able to speak life into you when you feel like you are dying, right? For people who are going through depression, I don't need you to come to me and be like, oh yeah, well, God's got it. Yes, okay, God's got it, but I don't feel like that right now. Speak to me. Speak to my spirit, because my spirit feels defeated, right? Speak to that. I don't need you to tell me. I know God's got it. Like, I know that. We all know that. You know, like, that's something that we all know. But I need you to be able to minister to me. And yeah, absolutely. That's in all relationships. Absolutely. In all relationships. We're laying the groundwork because friendship is the groundwork for any other relationship in your life, right? Friendship is the groundwork. And if your friendship ain't solid, if your foundation ain't solid, baby, the whole thing gonna come tumbling down at some point. The whole thing is gonna come tumbling down, right? We're talking about straight collapsed. What JC be saying? Dropped. Dropped. So green flags, I see you understanding, honesty, absolutely. I need someone who I can feel secure with. I need friends who I can feel secure with because I'm not a super, how do they say? I'm not one of those people who tell all their business. You know, I've been in situations where that's why JC dropped. I've been in situations where, you know, people just feel comfortable talking to me and they'll tell me their whole business and I just met you. Baby, I don't need to know that, but okay. Just don't expect me to do the same thing because I ain't finna tell you what my business. I need to feel secure. Those are the people I'm talking about who come in fast and coming strong. Red flag. Immediate red flag. I need someone who I can feel secure with, who I know is not going to judge me, right? I need somebody who's not going to judge me. Thank you. I need more than God's got it. Absolutely, B. I need more than, oh, God's got it. You're going to have to do something else. And if you don't have no words to say, don't say them. If you don't say nothing. Be like Joe's friends and just sit silently. That's all I need. Because if you come in here talking to me about, oh, you know, God's got it and, you know, it's going to be okay and, you know, we're going to make it through. Yeah, that's cute. And I love that. However, what can I do now? Because right now I feel like I'm dying. Right now I feel depressed. Right now I feel like I can't make it. So what can you help me with now? And if it's nothing, sometimes you don't have the words to say. Right, when I was going through the recent process of my mom passing away, there were just some times where people didn't know what to say, and that is okay. Right, and I was okay with that as long as you're there for me. Right, as my friend, I know you're still there for me. You don't always have to say something to somebody when they're going through. However, if you do decide you're going to say something, make sure it's something of substance, right? Of substance. Make sure it's substantial advice, it's substantial information. Because baby, you ain't helping me none. You ain't helping me none if you're telling me cliche sayings that we all already know, right? You're not helping me with it. I need friends who are going to help me, right? I need friends who are going to understand me, friends where I don't have to over explain myself or over explain a situation over and over and over again, right? I need friends who are going to show up. Yes, Miss Edie, when people are going through, I offer to take a self-care. Absolutely, Marvin, that's the best advice. That's the best advice. Take a self-care day. Or let's go. We're going to do some self-care, right? I'm going to take you to go do some self-care. As your friend, oh yeah, let's go get some brunch. Let's go eat. Let's go to the let's go get our nails done. Let's go do something. You know, offer some. Give me something, baby. Give me something, right? Because I don't want you to just sit in my face and give me cliches all over again. Like I already heard those. I'm good on that. I need you to help me. Self-care is the best way. I'm that person. I may not know what to say at certain times. Absolutely. And guess what? It's okay that you don't know what to say. Everybody don't know what to say to every situation, right? But as my friend, I still expect you to show up for me. Whether you say something or not, I expect you to show up for me. That's a green flag. Somebody who shows up for you. Someone who publicly supports you. Green flag. Green flag. Someone who publicly supports you. No, I don't need you to say, oh, you did a great job behind my back. I don't need that. Post it. Put it where you see the rest of the comments. You know, it's okay if it's like, oh, well, you know, it wasn't a space or opportunity. Okay, cool. But at some point, you need to show that you publicly support me, right? Especially when it comes to dreams and goals, right? If I can't be there, if I can't count on you to be there for me, what are we doing? What kind of covenant are we in at this point? Because if I'm there for you every single time you going through something, or every single time you have an event, or every single time something important is happening for you, and you're not reciprocating that energy, then what are we doing? Hey, Dwayna. Hey, show up. Absolutely. Same, but I'll be there. Absolutely, JC, but be there. Sometimes it's that one-on-one time. Absolutely. Absolutely, B. It's the one-on-one time. I just need the company. Like, and I'm a person that's like, you know, You don't necessarily have to say nothing to me, but if I know you're there, I could do my own thing, right? I could, I'm gonna watch Grey's Anatomy because that's my thing. Just be there with me, right? Just be in my space, because in that I feel supported, in that I feel lifted, right? That's what friendships are. Friendships are supposed to build us up. Friendships are supposed to build us up and not tear us down. And a lot of times we allow people to beat us down. One, because we lack boundaries ourselves, right? Sometimes it's us. Sometimes we are the ones. Sometimes we are the ones. We set the standard for how people treat us, right? And if we notice that somebody's not treating us right, that's your moment to use your voice and speak up and set those boundaries. And if they cannot respect it, bye, dropped. Bye, right? If they can't respect those boundaries, but sometimes it's us. We don't have the boundaries that we need to put in place. Show up for me the same way I show up for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. So a lot of us, when we're creating these friendships, establish your boundaries up front, right? And obviously it's all a learning process. It's all a learning process. But you should know for yourself what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate. Because people will treat you based off of you, right? Based off of what you allow. And if you allow people to stomp all over your boundaries, they're going to keep stomping all over your boundaries. It's simple. It's so simple. If you allow it, it'll continue to happen. What you allow will continue to progress. That's just what it is, right? And so we are talking about friendships, green flags, red flags for our friendships. And I just pray, right, that each and every one of us begin to form those friendships that are going to build us up and not tear us down. I have a question for y'all. I have a question. And this is probably going to be one of my last questions for the night. I want you guys to think about this. When has it been you that wasn't the good friend? When have you been the one who wasn't understanding? Right? Because we can talk about other people all the time, right? We can talk about other people all day long. But when is it you? What are some things you need to work on to become a better friend to the people that you say is in your circle, right? How can you be more supportive? And now if you say, oh, it's nothing I can do, then maybe you need a reality check, because each and every one of us can be a better person or a better friend. Again, God views friendship as covenant, right? An agreement, a binding, right? A binding agreement. And if I say I align with you, how can I be more supportive? How can I be a better friend to you, right? Giving more grace. Yeah. Giving more grace to people. Absolutely. Again, we can talk about people all day long, but really the point of all of this is for us to get better, right? And, when we get better, we start to attract better. What's inside of us is what we'll eventually start attracting, right? What's around us gets in us, and what's in us will attract what we want. And if you don't recognize it, take accountability and take action. You're not a good friend. I'm dealing with this right now, having to take accountability. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mrs. Big Chef, that is such a key word. Accountability. How are you responsible? How did you contribute to what caused all of this, right? How did you contribute? And a lot of us, we struggle with taking accountability. We struggle with it because nobody wants to be wrong, or nobody wants to be the friend that, nobody wants to be the friend that did the wrongdoing. Nobody wants to be that. But at the same time, put a mirror in front of yourself. You're not perfect. None of us are. Take accountability. That's how you become a better friend. Take accountability. Listen to your friends when they're telling you something about you, right? Listen to your friends when people are telling you about yourself. Because if you hear it more than once or twice, you get 3 people saying the same thing about you. Yeah, baby, it might be you. It might just be you. You might have some stuff to work on. Like, I know for a fact, I need to stop crashing out on people. I need to give people more grace. That's what I need to do. Sometimes it's you, right? And look, I do little check-ins, because I need to make sure, like, oh, hey y'all, to my friend group, hey y'all, I just want to make sure that our relationship is good. We cool. Everything's all right. Is there anything I could do that's better? Like, can I do anything better for you? And I'm not talking about the people. I'm not talking about the people who are, the snatchers, the people who just take it, take and take. I'm talking about real, genuine friendships. I do check-ins because I value my friendship that much. Because I value it. Because your friends are your chosen family and I value you. So yeah, I do little check-ins. Like, is there anything I can do to support you better? Is there anything I can do to make your life better right now? Is there anything I can do to make you smile? Right? Because I value my friendships that much. Can I send you an encouraging message? Can I do that? Can I help you in some way? Because sometimes we just don't know how to help. So ask a question. How can you be a better friend? How can you be a better person? I'm seeing y'all. For me, I have to pay attention to details. All my friends are different. So I have to really know the do's and don'ts. Absolutely, Cuzzo. Absolutely, the do's and the don'ts. I go silent to recharge sometimes. Lolita, me too. It's okay. Me too. Sometimes I need it. I live alone. I like my quiet. I like my own peace. So yeah, sometimes I have to go silent to recharge because people can be draining. Absolutely. Like, it can't be me. Whole time it's me. Right. Whole time it's you. Whole time. Right, Mrs. Big Chef. Accountability was something I recently had to figure out myself. Since taking self-inventory and doing the work, my relationship have gotten much better. Absolutely. All my friends are different. I check in on them. I listen to details and know how to approach each differently. And you have to know, because everyone's not the same, right? You got to know that sometimes you're the problem. Sometimes you're the drama. And it's okay. We all go through it. We all experience it. Sometimes you're the drama. And that all that means is, okay, I need to do some more self-reflection. That means I still have some areas where I need to grow, right? There's some things that I still need to do so that I can be better, right? Being elevated and growing and evolving very much has to do with the company you keep too. And it's important. If you value your friendships and you want them to keep growing and going, then yeah, sometimes you got to take a self-inventory, do a self-assessment, put the mirror in front of you and say, oh, yeah, I could have did this differently. I ain't really have to crash out about that. I could have just asked, like, oh, I could have just asked a question, or, I could have just said, I didn't like that you did this. I don't have to crash out every single time, or I don't have to ignore you now. I don't have to block you every single time you make me mad, right? Sometimes due to drama, and it's okay. It is what it is. It's a huge wake-up call and room for growth. We have to evolve. Absolutely, Mrs. Big Chef. There are just some things that we have to grow from, right? It may have worked in another friendship. It may be working in another friendship, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll work in all your friendships, right? That does not mean that. The way I talk to let's say the way I talk to Chris is not the same way that I may talk to Shari, or the way I talk to Lolita may not be the same way I talk to Mrs. Big Chef, right? The way I am, right? Me talking to somebody and how I approach things and my communication style may not be the same. I could talk to my brother and be like, yo, nigga, like, I could say that to my brother, right? Or I could say that to someone who I've been friends with for 20 years, because they know all of me. I'm a friendly gangster. I'm a friendly hood booger, right? I'm a friendly gangster. So there are some things that I may be able to say to somebody, but it may not necessarily work for everybody else. Because you have to adjust your style of friendship for the people that you're with. And I don't mean those core things, right? Those core beliefs and values. I don't mean change that for people. Please don't misunderstand me. But what I mean is that my communication style definitely changes, because not everybody can take all of Octavia. Not everybody can take all of JC, or all of Shari, or all of Lolita, or all of Joanna, right? Or all of Jasmine. Everybody can't take that, right? And so it's not to say, oh, dim your light or dim yourself, but you also have to know how to approach situations. I may be able to crash out with my brother, but I may not necessarily be able to crash out with this person because I value my friendship, right? Because I value you. So I'm not going to come at you in a way that you don't understand, right? So my point is, right, that one, we need to take some self-assessment about how we can be better friends to other people, right? Where are the areas that we're lacking that we need to improve on? But two, also surround ourselves with the people that are going to elevate us, the people that are going to grow us, the people that are going to lift us up. We know who our friends are. And if you don't know, ask God for discernment. Ask God to help you. Because one thing about it, people will notice your gifts, people will notice your power before you do sometimes, and they'll attach themselves to you because they know it, and they'll try to break you down, or they'll try to steal it from you. They'll try to take the whole thing from you. You ever notice people who copy you, or do everything you do, or say everything you say, or dress the way you dress, or talk the way you talk? Like, you ever notice? Those ain't your friends, baby. Those ain't your friends. So I charge each and every one of you. I charge each and every one of you to do some self-reflection. What can you do to be a better person? What can you do to be a better friend? Right? We should approach dating. Yes, yes, I love that. Dating our new friends. Yes, cherishing new relationships and learning each other. And that we will be able to understand do's and don'ts. Yes, absolutely. Date your friends. One thing about it, I am developing a really, really, really great relationship with two people, and I won't say who they are, right? With two people in my life right now. And I am just having the best time learning them, right? Learning who they are, learning what triggers them, what they love to do, what their job is, what their careers are, what they hope to be. When I'm creating these friendships, I'm actively listening, because I'm like, oh, okay, like, because I'm assessing to see if we gonna be a good match, because I don't know. I want to see if we're gonna be a good match for real, right? Because on the outside it may look good, but when you start to talk to people, when you start realizing stuff like, oh yeah, actually I changed my mind. Actually, I don't think I like you. Right? Learning, yes, not romantically, right? Just platonically learning your friends, right? And a lot of times, some of us don't know how to create friendships. And I'll just say that some of us suck at creating friendships. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to say. And then we offend people. We start doing weird stuff. Create healthy friendships. You get to decide if you want to continue new relationships or not. There's nothing wrong with realizing you're not a good fit. Yeah, actually, right. Actually, I don't think this is going to work out. I don't think we're meant to be friends. I don't think we're meant to have anything more than, just the common decency of, oh, hey, how you doing type of relationship. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that to people. And it's okay to feel that way. Not everybody you meet or everybody you think you'll actually like. Right? And it's okay. At the end of the day, you want to fill your inner circle. You want to fill your inner circle intentionally, and not just because you feel bad about saying no to them or feel bad about not being their friend, right? Again, it's important to have shared values and interests. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if I could actually be friends with somebody who didn't have shared values or interests. I don't even know how that would work. I just feel like I don't know how it would work, right? You have to have shared values and interests, right? You have to. There's no way you can have a long lasting friendship without that. Let's bring back healthy friendships. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And one thing about healthy friendships, you need to be able to be honest with your friends, because a lot of us be scared to be honest with our friends. When they offend you, don't let it slide, because then they'll keep doing it. Be honest with your friends and be honest with yourself, right? Be honest, because a lot of us let things slide because, like, oh, that's my friend. No, talk to your friend, and if they're your friend, they'll understand. They'll understand, and they'll go and correct what they messed up, what they got wrong. That's a part of learning, right? You're gonna mess up. You might offend your friend by accident. It's not intentionally. It's not like you're doing anything intentional, but you might mess up from time to time. And guess what? When your friend brings that to you, don't get mad. Don't curse them out. Don't crash out on them. Listen to them and try to understand where they're coming from and adjust your behavior. That's a part of learning. That's a part of what G said, dating your new friends. That's a part of dating, romantically or platonically. We listen and we don't judge, but we keep it. 100. We keep it 100. Yeah, we do. We listen and we don't judge, but I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? And the same way I'm gonna tell you the truth, I expect you to tell me the truth, because that means that you respect me enough to be honest with me, right? You respect me enough to be honest with me. All right, y'all. That was a lesson for today. That was our Bible study talking about our friendships, right? Especially when we're going through, when we are. Thank you, G. When we are suffering, when we are going through stuff, right? That's what we've been talking about. Friendships. And we'll continue this series about enduring well, especially enduring through the storms. Next week, we're going to be talking about mental health in the storm. And I would really, really love for you guys to come back, chat with me. Let's talk about it. Talking about mental health when we're going through the storm, right? Because a lot of times our mental health is affected, and it's, it takes a hit when we're going through. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Just one more announcement before we go. Again, thank you to the ALU family for having me. Thank you. I'm so excited about this collab. Thank you to my Facebook family. Thank you to my Instagram family, to my TikTok family. We appreciate you. Please subscribe to our channel, the ALU channel. Please subscribe so that you can be notified when we go live. My next announcement is that Resilience Talks will also have another home. I will not be going live on Facebook or Instagram anymore. Everything will be either from the ALU family YouTube page or my very own YouTube page. And I will put my YouTube in the chat as well. You guys already have the YouTube for ALU, so I don't need to post that. You'll get the notifications, but when you have time, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are on Facebook or Instagram who have been consistently watching, go to my YouTube. You'll see it up there. And you can subscribe there, because I won't be going live from Facebook or Instagram anymore. I want to just streamline everything to ALU's YouTube and my own YouTube. So for those of you who are on my Facebook and Instagram, please do that. Go subscribe. I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here, for interacting with me. I really do hope that each and every one of you have gotten something out of this live. Okay, say period. Clock that to y'all. I really do hope that you guys got something from this live tonight. And I will post. Is it posted? I'm going to post this live on my YouTube as well. You can check it, Marvin. If you look at the banner, you have the YouTube information. I'm going to post this, and all the lives that I've done so far are on my YouTube currently. And yes, ALU, we're here. We're here, ALU. We are here. We're staying here. For those of you who are subscribed to ALU, you will continue to get notified about our Bible studies. And I will be going live from ALU. Please understand, I'm not changing that. We are collabing. We locked in forever. We locked in. And then for those of you who are on my Facebook or Instagram, you can find that stream on YouTube, because I will no longer be on Facebook Live or Instagram Live. So just wanted to let you guys know that. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for being here with me. And if y'all have any questions, any comments, any concerns, hit me up. I'm super approachable. But yeah, I think that is everything. If all hearts and minds are clear, as they say in the Baptist church. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful night. I will see most of you guys for worship tomorrow on TikTok. Again, Inner Circle. Who is on your team? Who's around you? All right, y'all. Love y'all. Have the best night ever. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Most of y'all on TikTok Live. For the others of you, I will see y'all on Facebook or Instagram at some point. All right, y'all. Oh, were you reminding me to say Inner Circle with you? I'm sorry. Good night, y'all. See y'all tomorrow.